Sponsored by RxCardClub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 85% on prescription drugs. RxCardClub.com. What is the difference between Arexvy and Abrysvo? Arexvy and Abrysvo are both RSV vaccines, respiratory syncytial virus, that are approved for use in adults over the age of 60 to reduce their risk of developing lower respiratory tract disease, LRTD. Abrysvo is also approved for use in pregnant women between 32 through 36 weeks gestation, to protect infants against LRTD from the moment they are born until they are 6 months of age. The vaccine is recommended only from September through January, peak RSV season. Arexvy is not approved for use in pregnant women. Arexvy and Abrysvo are not interchangeable for this reason. Neither Arexvy nor Abrysvo are approved for use in children. Beyfortus is used to protect neonates and infants born during or entering their first RSV season against RSV-caused lower respiratory tract infections. Beyfortus may also be used to protect against RSV-caused lower respiratory tract infections in infants who remain vulnerable through their second RSV season, such as those with congenital heart disease or chronic lung disease. But what are some other differences between them? Differences in manufacturers and approval dates. Arexvy is made by GSK and was approved on May 3, 2023, the first RSV vaccine to be approved for older adults. Abrysvo is made by Pfizer and was approved on May 31, 2023, the second RSV vaccine to be approved for older adults. It was FDA approved for pregnant women on August 21, 2023. Differences in efficacy reporting. The way each company reported on their vaccine's efficacy was different, which makes a direct comparison difficult. Arexvy showed 94.6% efficacy in reducing the risk of developing RSV-associated LRTD in older adults with underlying conditions, with an overall efficacy of 82.6%. Abrysvo showed 67% efficacy in reducing the risk of developing RSV-associated LRTD in older adults with 2 or more symptoms, and 86% efficacy in reducing the risk of developing RSV-associated LRTD in those with 3 or more symptoms. The MATISSE, MATernal Immunization Study for Safety and Efficacy, Phase 3 trial reported a vaccine efficacy of 81.8% was observed against severe medically attended LRTD due to RSV in infants from birth through the first 90 days of life, with high efficacy of 69.4% demonstrated through the first 6 months of life. Warnings. There are no differences in warnings between the two products. Neither should be used in people who are hypersensitive to any of the components of either vaccine, and neither is approved for use in adults aged less than 60 years or in sick children. Neither Arexvy nor Abrysvo should be used in children. Only Abrysvo is approved for use in pregnancy. Arexvy should not be used during pregnancy. The following warnings are the same for all vaccines. Possible anaphylactic reactions. Possible fainting, syncope. Immunosuppressed people may have a diminished response. Administration. Both Arexvy and Abrysvo are 0.5 milliliter vaccines that are given by intramuscular injection, preferably into the deltoid muscle of the upper arm. Side effects. Both vaccines are generally well tolerated and side effects are similar and short-lived. The most common side effects of Arexvy are injection site pain, fatigue, mild to moderate muscle or joint aches, or headache. The most common side effects of Abrysvo are fatigue, headache, injection site pain and redness, and muscle pain. Abrysvo has been studied in pregnant women and side effects are similar to those seen in studies with older adults, for example pain at the injection site, headache, muscle pain, and nausea. Preeclampsia occurred in 1.8% of pregnant individuals who received Abrysvo compared with 1.4% of those who received placebo. Low birth weight and jaundice also occurred at a higher rate in infants of pregnant recipients of Abrysvo versus placebo. Prescribing information for pregnant women will include a warning about a numerical imbalance in preterm births in Abrysvo recipients, 5.7% versus 4.7% in those who received placebo, but this data is not sufficient enough to establish that the vaccine can cause preterm births, but provides a warning. This is why the vaccine is only recommended between 32 through 36 weeks gestation. Vaccination ingredients. The main difference between Arexvy and Abrysvo is in their composition. Arexvy is an adjuvanted vaccine, which means it contains a substance that helps to enhance the effects of the vaccine by boosting the response of the immune system. Abrysvo contains no adjuvant, but it is bivalent, meaning that it protects against both RSV and RSV-B. Although Arexvy is technically not bivalent, trials showed it protected against both the A and B strains of RSV. Both need reconstitution before use. Natural rubber latex is not used in either vaccine. The Arexvy vial stopper is not made with natural rubber latex. The Abrysvo vial stopper, tip cap, and rubber plunger of the pre-filled syringe are not made with natural rubber latex. Arexvy. Arexvy is an adjuvanted RSV vaccine that is supplied in 2 vials that must be reconstituted before administration. Ni vial contains lyophilized recombinant respiratory syncytial virus glycoprotein F stabilized in prefusion conformation, RSV vaccine Pref3, recombinant systemic, as the antigen component, which must be reconstituted at the time of use with the accompanying vial of GSK's proprietary AS01 the adjuvant as the adjuvant suspension component. After reconstitution, each dose of Arexvy is approximately half a milliliter and contains 120 micrograms of the recombinant Pref3 antigen, 25 micrograms of MPL, and 25 micrograms of QS21. The following buffer ingredients: 14.7 milligrams of trehalose, 4.4 milligrams of sodium chloride, 0.83 milligrams of potassium dihydrogen phosphate, 0.26 milligrams of dipotassium phosphate, 0.18 milligrams of polysorbate 80, 0.15 milligrams of disodium phosphate anhydrous, half a milligram of DOC, and 0.125 milligrams of cholesterol. Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a bivalent recombinant stabilized prefusion F protein subunit vaccine that contains equal amounts of stabilized prefusion, Pref, antigens from the 2 major RSV subgroups, RSV-A and RSV-B, RSV vaccine, Pref-A Pref-B, recombinant systemic. It is supplied as a kit that contains a vial of lyophilized antigen component, a sterile white powder, a pre-filled syringe containing the sterile water diluent component, and a vial adapter. After reconstitution, each dose of Abrysvo is approximately half a milliliter and contains 120 micrograms of RSV stabilized prefusion F proteins, 60 micrograms RSV Pref-A and 60 micrograms RSV Pref-B, per half a milliliter. The following buffer ingredients: 0.11 milligrams trimethamine, 1.04 milligrams trimethamine hydrochloride, 11.3 milligrams sucrose, 22.5 milligrams mannitol, 0.08 milligrams polysorbate 80, and 1.1 milligrams sodium chloride per half a milliliter. Abrysvo contains no preservatives and residual amounts of host cell proteins, 0.1% width/W, and DNA, less than 0.4 nanograms/mg of total protein, may be present from the manufacturing process. RxCardClub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 80% on prescription drugs.